Good afternoon and welcome into West 56th, obviously the practice facility for the Indianapolis Colts as they are trying to bounce back from a devastating loss on Sunday when they were in Kansas City, losing in overtime to Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs and company. Colts are still 8-3 on the year. I think a lot of people are saying that this Colts team is for real. I don't think you can say that they're not. They've proven time and time again, each and every week, despite who they're playing, they dominate who they play. They also played a competition of who they need to play as well. You just look at the sample size from Sunday. Now, turning ahead to this weekend. The Colts, hey, they're finally back at home. It feels like it's been over a month since we've seen them play at Lucas Oil Stadium. They were in Berlin, then they had a bye week, and then, of course, they were in Kansas City this past Sunday. Now they're back home this Sunday afternoon, taking on the Houston Texans. This is the part of the schedule where they're getting into playing those AFC South opponents. This is where the division is going to be revealed, so to speak, or chosen or taken, which is what the Colts are going to have to try to do here. They, of course, have the Texans a couple times. They have the Jaguars a couple times. So a lot at stake here over this next month and a half or so. But let's focus on Sunday with the Houston Texans. This team, 6-5 on the year. You never really thought early in the season that they were going to be in this spot to battle for an AFC South title, but they are. I mean, Davis Mills, he's a backup quarterback, but he's won 3 straight games. They just won last week against Buffalo. So this team plays very well, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Statistically, probably one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And for the Colts, offensively, trying to get things figured out. We know the second half was a dud against Kansas City. Now they have a chance to go against a perennial powerhouse type opponent in Houston when it comes to that defensive side of the football. I mean, they have Will Anderson, they have Danielle Hunter, they have Mario Edwards Jr. That front four for those guys can attack anybody and play with anybody. So the Colts right now, I mentioned 8-3 heading into Sunday, and a chance to really put their foot on the pedal to clinching this AFC South title moving forward. We spoke with, of course, with Coach Shane Steichen and the players in the locker room afterwards.
First off, happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody. Today we'll conduct a walkthrough. I just want to give these guys rested up, obviously late in the season. Just giving guys time to heal their bodies, their nicks and bruises, so they could be fresh and ready to go for Sunday. Looking forward to Sunday. Obviously, being back home, it's been a while to be in front of our home crowd. We're excited about that challenge, excited about the opportunity that we got ahead of us. Houston's a hell of a team. They're playing good ball right now. Defensively, I think statistically they're the best in the league right now, and they're getting after it pretty good. And we're excited about that challenge coming up.
When you have a stretch where you guys are on the road as much as you have been, do you think that takes a toll on the team?
I don't know. I think every year the schedule is what it is, and you go out and execute the best you can to your ability. And we're excited, for the opportunity to be back at home, though, in front of our home crowd.
How big of a loss is Ashton Doolin going around?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Doolin's one of our special teams aces. Obviously, he plays a lot for us and roles on offense. So losing a guy like that hurts us. But like we always say, it's the next man up, next man mentality, and get ready to go. Yeah, he'll be limited today. We're having a walkthrough, so we'll list him as limited, but he'll be good to go this week.
Shane, 6 games to go. What you share with your team, knowing what's on the line this week and these other games coming forward?
Yeah, there's obviously a sense of urgency, obviously going into November, late November, December games. But really today I just kind of shared about, obviously with Thanksgiving, being thankful for the opportunity that we get as a football team to go out and compete each and every week, and the blessings, that this game's, given all of us the opportunity to go out and do what we do and love what we do and be a blessing for other people. And I thought our guys did a heck of a job. We did the horseshoe helpings yesterday and, fed over 3,000 people, and we had over 50 guys there. I thought that was just a testament to our guys and what it means to, help out other people, during this time of Thanksgiving.
Hey, Shane, with Daniel, is this something that he might have to manage for a bit just because you're in season?
No, he should be good. Like I said, he's going to practice this week, be fine. Just like he played in the game, we should be good to go.
With this weekend being the 9+ranked game, just how special is that for you and then the rest of the locker room to be able to kind of represent these different organizations?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think to represent, certain causes that people have, foundations. Obviously, the Kicking the Stigma, that we have here at this organization, that Kalen does. I think it's a testament, to helping other people. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be wearing the Kicking the Stigma shoes, so that'll be fun.
Go into games with a set number of touches you want for JT?
Yes and no. I mean, you go out and see how it plays out. You always want to get him as much touches as you can and see how the game plays out and see the flow of the game, and that'll dictate it.
Shane, the defensive ends for Houston obviously get a lot of attention, but what do you see from their secondary?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty feisty all around. I think Stingley's, one of the best in the league. Last number 4, he's a hell of a player too. And I think the one guy, Bullock, second-year player, he's running around and making a ton of plays at the safety position. So they got a lot of talent on the front and the back end too, and they're flying around, making a lot of plays.
They're usually a 4-man rush, I guess. Like, is it because those guys get home, and then because that's the fact, how tougher does it make the attacking?
Yeah, I think obviously when you 4-man rush, the coverage, they got more coverage on the back end. So yeah, we got to be precise in our pass game. We got to be good in the run game with our IDs and all those things that you go and do each and every week, whether it's 4-man rush, 5-man rush, 6-man rush. We got to be prepared for all that.
When you run into bumps in the road in the regular season, what is your coaching technique? Do you try to move past it and just focus, coach your guys to focus on the next week? Is it, I guess, could you maybe speak a little bit?
Yeah, I think anytime, you lose games, like obviously you win close games, you still got to clean up those things. We won some close games, obviously lost a close game last week. But you always clean those things up, and you kind of flush that Monday and then get ready to go for your next opponent. And I think with every setback, it's a setup for your next opportunity. And we got a great opportunity at home against a division opponent.
This game really ramps up the AFC South battle, and this team hasn't won one of those in a decade. Is that something that you mentioned this week, and then you feel like that's something that guys are aware of?
Yeah, I think anytime you want to win a championship, you got to win, division games. And obviously we got a division game coming up, at home against a really good opponent that we're looking forward to.
Still no Anthony?
Yeah, no Anthony.
How would you evaluate Daniel over the last 3 weeks? The numbers from like 1 through 8, first 8 games compared to the last 3 games are kind of drastic. So how would you use these last?
Yeah, I still think he's playing at a high level. I think anytime you go through a season, you're going to have highs and lows, and then you battle back from those. But even like last week, I think, he was completing balls. I think he had a 100 passer rating. I don't know, I think it was 14 to 16 at one point. He's playing good ball, you know what I mean? And so it's just winning those, like I said, winning those games at the end. I think finishing's a big part of it, and going forward. But he's been playing, fantastic for us all season.
Shane, you talked about a walkthrough to give some guys rest at this point in the season. Has the mentality changed over the years about late season practice reps to kind of keep guys a little healthier?
Yeah, I think around the league, if you look around the league, I think a lot of teams, have walkthrough Wednesdays. Just as you get going, it's just such a long season from training camp all the way till now, and you want to make sure these guys are fresh and ready to go late in the season so they can play with max effort.
Was there a time in your career that you had to come around to that way of thinking? Because maybe 20 years ago when you're just...
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of things that play into it. There's a lot of sports science, that's taken, transition over the past, decade, and just making sure these guys are in tip-top shape, going into these games, especially late in the season.
Still all about stovetop box stuff?
I do like stovetop. I am a fan, but I do like honey baked ham. Mashed potatoes are solid. I mean, it's all good.
Do you, I know you normally watch the Thursday night game, but with 3 games on Thursday, is it still just Thursday night?
Oh, it'll be great. Obviously, we'll practice Thursday morning and then get those guys home with their family, early afternoon and spend some time with family and friends and be thankful for a lot, that we're all blessed with, and then watch some football. It'll be good.
Where does Thanksgiving fall on your holiday power ranking?
It's up there. It's probably top 3. I'm going Christmas number 1. Thanksgiving's probably 2. My wife loves 4th of July. She loves 4th of July. I think she likes being in the sunshine and being out in California. What's that? Yeah, you get more time with the kids. Yeah, that's probably why she loves it so much. Yeah, for sure.
Shane, when you watch football on TV, can you turn it off?
It's hard. It's really hard. Even when we had the bye, you're watching games and looking at certain things. And I know it's the TV copy, so you can't see the full picture. But, yeah, you're looking at a lot of things and, dissecting it. So, yeah.
Find yourself taking notes when you watch games?
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll put stuff in my phone for sure. Like, oh, shoot, that clip in the second quarter, I got to go back and watch the, coach's copy of that one or whatever it may be for sure.
Hey, Shane, I know last week, 4th quarter, and obviously overtime didn't go the way you guys wanted to go, especially offensively. What do you need to see from your guys this week? What against a tough defense in Texas?
Yeah, I think just being efficient, being efficient all the time, not sometimes. I thought we were pretty efficient there the first 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter wasn't efficient enough, and we got to finish those games out like we did against Atlanta and Arizona and those games, so just finishing at the end.
Do you like having the opportunity after a game like Sunday, like to have an opportunity to go against, I think you called them the #1 defense in the league, like is it almost in a way nice to have a big battle like that coming off of the loss to feel like you can get right back at it?
Yeah, heck yeah, it's a Yeah, it's a great challenge. I think when you have those tough losses, it's how you respond as a football team, and we got to respond the right way by how we prepare this week going into this game.
What have you come to appreciate about the Quan Treadwell?
Man, his story's unbelievable. If you think about it, former first-round pick, bounced around the league, but just does everything right, and you can see the gratitude and the gratefulness that he has playing this game, the way he practices, the way he prepares. Obviously, being a practice squad guy for us last 2 years, getting elevated. Making the plays he does on special teams. Sometimes there's setbacks, in people's career and how you handle those and that adversity and how you go through it and have the right mindset. And he's been phenomenal with that. I mean, just a great teammate. It's a pleasure to have him on the team.
The receiver room seems to really universally like and respect him. I mean, what kind of impact can that have?
I think it's huge. It's great for young players to see that. You know what I mean? I mean, he can be kind of a sounding board for the young players. Young players go through tough times and challenges, throughout their career, but to see the way his path has went, just to say, hey, stick with it, man. Keep the right mindset, keep the right mentality, lead with your character and who you are as a person, how you battle through those things, will say a lot about, who you are as a person.
Shane, as a play caller, when you play against a team like Houston where they've got these 2 pass rushers, they only have to win a couple of plays to affect the game. Do you have to understand that there's going to be probably some bad plays? I mean, Braden and Bernie have to be right 60 plays during the game.
Yeah, for sure. There's always going to be ups and downs throughout every game, no matter who you're playing, and you got to overcome. You're going to have good plays, you're going to have some bad plays, and it's overcoming those things and staying efficient. First and second down, not putting yourself in those long yardage situations, and being productive that way.
Was Julian the only Chiefs injury?
Yeah.
Everybody, needs to be led differently. Everybody's got different motivations. Everybody loves to be encouraged. Everybody loves to be congratulated. And for me personally, that's probably my favorite part of the game. My favorite part of the game is being a teammate. And, with that being said is, being there to support my guys, whether that's a good play, bad play. I love being the cheerleader on the team. I like being, every time somebody make a play, being the first person to run over there to congratulate them, whether that's offense, defense, and just knowing how, when you're on the road, it feels like the whole world's against you. You know what I mean? So when you're on the road, I think it's just that much more important to, make sure that you celebrating your teammates, for their success, because it's on the road when you make a big play, everybody goes quiet, so we gotta cheer for each other and just try to have that infectious energy. So.
We've been in a stretch of the season where I think you guys have 4 AFC South games in the last 6. Really kind of ramps up that competition there. You've been around this team a long time and haven't had a chance to win an AFC South title. What would that mean, do you feel like, for this locker room and this team?
I think it means a lot. I feel like when you look at your goals of the season, that's the first one that you always got to check off. You want to win the division. So no better opportunity than this Sunday against Houston.
What have you seen from Gallimore this season? That depth in there is always so important, when you miss one of those 2 big guys.
Nah, Big Nev has definitely been a positive addition, not only on the field but in the locker room. He's a guy that's come in willing to work. We know he's been around, a couple of different locker rooms in the league, and I just feel like he fit in seamlessly with us here. Obviously, we know who DeForest and Grove is, but when you got that third guy coming in, obviously we play a lot of 5 down too, but when you got that third guy coming in with energy and playmaking, man, it makes a big difference. And I think just his effort and the hustle plays that he's made this season has helped us out tremendously. So.
Houston coming up this Sunday, there's one still in front of you. What is your level of just urgency, just trying to get back home and trying to get a winner against AFC South?
Man, I can't wait to be back home. I mean, we've been on the road for a long time, and definitely missing Lucas Oil. So glad to be back home on Sunday, and I mean, honestly, I feel like our urgency has been high all year, every game. I mean, last week was a big game. Atlanta was every game is the biggest game of the season because it's the next one. But I will say, the urgency is just a little bit higher knowing we're going against Houston.
Zeke, you've had a lot of guys who you've played alongside in this defense within your linebacker group. Since Jermaine Pratt has come in the building, how much of an influence and impact has he been able to make specifically?
Man, he was playing out of his mind on Sunday, and I loved it. Like, you talk about, celebrating your teammates. I love nothing more than a guy next to me to go flying and making plays. Like, that turns me up for sure. So, yeah, he definitely was playing, like, with his head on fire. And, he's been, solid in that position. Obviously a lot of stuff been going on this season. He's added some stability to it. And obviously, his relationship with Lou, having played in the same defense for 6 years, he's just very comfortable in understanding, the things that Lou's asking from him. So, it's been helpful, obviously, with all of our learning curves and stuff like that too. So it's definitely been a positive.
All season long, you guys have noted just how tight-knit, how much this group wants to fight for one another. Coming off of a little bit of adversity, how much is that either tested or just even maybe put on display when you guys have an opportunity to respond?
Man, I'm looking forward to adversity. Adversity gives you the biggest opportunity for growth. So, I love nothing more than that. I love when people doubting us. I love when people counting us out because it's another chance to prove somebody wrong. So, I think, those type of situations bring you closer as a team. It hardens you as a team. We got better as a team, right or wrong. So, Sunday's another opportunity for growth.
Super random question, but every team has the guy or guys who are in charge of what music gets played, right? And I know Taekwon, but like, anyway, who is it and what are your impressions on them as in that role?
There's a rumor going around the building that I heard from Carly, actually, that I control the music during practice. That's not true. I don't gonna say I have an influence on it, but I don't think I control it. Tyloo, the D-line always wants to hog the Hawks, and they think they're bigger than everybody, so, they do a good job at it. But, Tyloo definitely plays a big role in it, him and Grove. But, and I mean, I think Ty's got great musical taste. We argue all the time about the difference between Southern music and, East Coast from where I'm from, so that's that. But, you got to let the young, my theory is you just got to let the young boys have the aux a good amount, So it was AD. AD got great musical taste. Shout out to AD. But you got to let the young, because that's how you know what's current. We listen to the same music all over again. You got to know what's new. So, yeah, Tyloo do a good job, though. And I don't control the music at practice, by the way.
Yeah, probably want to learn through adversity. In your experience as a veteran and a voice in this locker room, how do you go about leading, talking guys up, approaching games to make sure that a loss or two doesn't turn into a end of season slide that you guys obviously don't want to have?
Yeah, I think you just keep everything in perspective. Understand, I'm having those conversations with guys, win or lose, just so you always using these, type of scenarios, like I said, for opportunity for growth. Understanding that, a loss is not fatal and a win is not final, so you got to just continue to keep going. When you lose, obviously, you got a bigger magnifying glass. You're going through every single thing. When you win, sometimes you sweep things under the rug. So I think every week presents its own, challenges. And I think every week, is going to call on different guys that have the heavy hat, against, Atlanta with Bijan in the backfield. Yeah, linebackers, we got to stop that run, and then, you play, Houston, and obviously they got, 12 over there. He's a good player. There's other guys that's got to step up and make those plays. So.
See, one more on leadership. You're mic'd up. I know partially you probably can't play because you talk, and that's part of who you are.
Right.
We've talked about this in the past, whether it's here, 520, whatever. How have you learned, like, how much of yourself you can be, if that makes sense, and in what setting? Because all of it makes you who you are, if that makes sense. Like, all of it is part of the journey, the story, and you can't not be you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just feel like I always got to be my authentic self. I feel like, you see that clip of the Eagles fans punching people, the kids punching in them elementary school, like that's really where I'm from. You know, they not in class, they punching, you know, cowboys. You know, that's literally where I'm from. So I just feel like I got a unique perspective on some things. I mean, to me, it's just really my competitive nature. And at the end of the day, you know, when you on the field, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You know, I'm in there mixing up with 300-pound guys. And, you know, I don't shy away from that. So I love it, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, we going to hug it out or, you know, we're going to figure that out. So, I think it's just who I am, just keep being authentic. But, you know, I have learned as I've grown throughout the league and, you know, started to build actual relationship with some people, you know, there's a level and a line to it, too, a little bit. So.
This weekend being the My Cosmic Leagues game, can you just describe the cause that you chose and then why?
I believe I chose girls flag for my cleats. Being named the global ambassador for flag football has been a really cool experience. Just the girls I was able to meet and influence as the game continues to grow, especially like in Indianapolis, has been really special. It's truly something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, most of the time I've done community service throughout my career has been more like STEM and academic, but kind of getting into girls flag, you kind of get a chance to really grow the game and, share that joy and that love that I have for the game with someone else. And especially to the young ladies, you know, being able to step in a whole new area has been really dope too. So just thankful for the influences that I've been able to be and, looking forward to continue to further the cause. So.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Coming off of the loss at Kansas City, what are the areas of emphasis in particular when you have the opportunity Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get out there and prepare for a divisional game, critical game at home against the Texans?
I think, a lot of the same stuff. I think, looking back at the game from last week, I think, we just didn't make the plays down the stretch that we needed to, that we have, so just got to clean that up. I don't think that's one area necessarily. I think kind of across the board we all have to do better. So but looking forward to this week. It's a good defense. It's aggressive. They do a good job rushing the passer. They got good players in the secondary and that linebacker. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
Daniel, with the fibula injury, I know possible in the injury report last week. I guess how did it happen and how are you managing it so far?
It was just something that kind of was hanging over and realized it last week and just been trying to get treatment and make sure I'm in the best spot I can be.
Did it happen in the
Something
game
that
at
popped
Atlanta?
up from the Atlanta game or something you don't really know what the origination of it was?
Yeah, I think it's just something I felt last week and tough to say exactly when, but something I felt last week I looked at and been really good working with the trainers here and making sure we're ready to go, got a good plan.
Everyone's asking, like, is Daniel Jones okay? Is he okay? Can you assure some of these Colts fans that you're good to go and you're fine, ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good. I'll be ready to go on Sunday. Obviously, was out there last week. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Daniel, every team gives you different issues, problems. When you've got a team with two really quality pass rushers, where's your attention with game planning?
Yeah, I think it's certainly something you got to consider and factor into everything you're doing, and certainly in the pass game, I think we have a lot of confidence and trust in our guys up front and our tackles. But I think you watch teams play them regardless of who you got. You try to chip them, you try to help when you can, and we'll have a plan on. It's my job to get the ball out on time and make sure I'm going through my progressions. I'm understanding where the ball needs to go, and it's out on time.
How much are you looking forward to getting back home? I mean, you guys have been gone, it seemed like forever, but give me your thoughts on that in front of your home crowd and such a huge game coming up.
Yeah, we're fired up to get back home, and it feels like we haven't played at home in a long time. So to get back in there and play in front of our fans will be a lot of fun, and we're excited to get back.
In your experience, what are some of the keys of not letting bumps in the road in the regular season turn into big slides just within a whole lot?
I think just attacking the week as you would in any other situation. I think we didn't play our best last game against a good opponent and a really good football team, and that's going to happen. So I don't think anyone here is making it any bigger than that. I think we understand the things we have to do better, the things we've done well all year, and it doesn't change our preparation or our process through the week. So we have a mature football team. I think the messaging from Shane and the coaching staff is that, and to be consistent and attack the week with the same energy, confidence, enthusiasm that we always do.
Daniel, when you went back within the fourth quarter, what did you see those 3 straight 3-and-outs as the issues?
I think it was something different kind of in each situation. We just didn't make the play. I think, those third downs didn't make the play. Weren't putting ourselves in great position early down. I think, I don't think there was necessarily one problem that carried through on each of those drives. I think it was just, we didn't execute at a high level, when we needed to.
Do you think your leg is something you have to be conscious of when you're playing, or do you just go full?
Yeah, just play. I think, play, and I think when you're out there, you can't afford to be thinking about anything like that.
Does that show that you guys, I guess through the first half of the season, were really great against the blitz? Some of these teams that you guys have played recently, are you guys seeing different techniques through blitz? Have there been some breakdowns that maybe you guys didn't see through the first start of the year? What have you noticed from looking at the last couple of games?
I think every team's going to present a little bit different, game plan, challenges. The pressures are going to be different. I think it's just, from my standpoint, having answers and making the throw, and didn't do that well enough on Sunday.
How much do you enjoy this holiday, this Thanksgiving? I know Shane said he talked to the team about showing a lot of gratitude, but for you personally, growing up, what does this holiday mean to you?
Yeah, it's a special time of year. For us, it was always going down to my grandfather's house and watching football, hanging out, spending time as a family. And since I've been in the NFL, I've been lucky. My family has traveled and made Thanksgiving wherever I was. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, hanging with the fam and watching some football.
It's also My Cause, My Cleats. First time you guys have had an opportunity at home for My Cause, My Cleats in a number of seasons. You're going to be representing Kicking the Stigma. Why was it important for you to use the platform that you have to dedicate to Kicking the Stigma?
Well, number one, you just look at the initiative that we take here, and I thought that it was imperative for myself to join that initiative, not only with events that Kaylin and the rest of the Ursay family put on, but through My Cause, My Cleats. I know I've had a few different organizations that I've represented, but I thought this year it was only right to represent, Kicking the Stigma.
When there's a game like Sunday where the elephant in the room is, people said you should have gotten the ball more in the fourth quarter. When you look back at it, what's your mindset going into this next matchup?
The same one. Just like in the offseason, you got to prepare for the workload, no matter how big, no matter how small. So in the offseason, you prepare your body to go the distance every single time. And whether that's, hey, we need you to block the Mike backer 15 times or we need you to get 30 carries, I'm willing and able and I'm ready to handle anything that my team, the coaches, they ask me to do. So this week is the same thing. We obviously know what's at stake. We know that we're back at home. It's been a while, and we got to put a good product on the field, something that's different than Sunday for sure.
I'm sorry. You've been a part of these AFC South battles. What is your level of urgency right now, knowing everything you guys want is right in front of you, but a massive game here on Sunday against the Texans?
We know, especially this year, we're going to get everybody's best shot. And with the implications, we know that we got to play our best ball. At the end of the day, November, December, you want to be playing your best ball as a team. You want to go into that postseason rolling. So for us, in order to get there, we got to be playing our best ball at the end of the year. So it's all about playing our best ball this Sunday coming up.
Texans seem like they have a pretty good front. When you look at them on tape, what is it that stands out?
Yeah, those guys definitely get active up front. It's always a tough challenge with those guys. They have smart players, but they have athletic players. So for us, it's going to be alignment, assignment. We're going to definitely have to help each other out. We're going to have to be on our communication as well. If you let that front run wild, it's going to be a long Sunday.
You talked about also the off-season work that you do to prepare your body for times like these. Going to a walkthrough right now, just a chance for guys to maybe get a little bit more rest. What benefit is that for players, and what do you have to do to make sure you're still, even though you're not getting as many practice reps, perhaps, ready on Sunday?
That's the key thing. You're not getting as many practice reps, so you got to make sure the mental reps truly do count. Don't just watch the play and say, oh, okay, that's what we're running. Go through, okay, well, what's my adjustment on this play if this would have happened, or if they showed this front. So really make every rep count when you're going through it mentally, but then also take advantage of having that day where you're not on your feet. get that extra recovery, watch that extra film, whatever you need to do to make sure you can be at your best on Sunday.
JT, I know you've talked about being a quarterback's best friend. There were a few times on Sunday where I noticed you going back and forth between the O-line and Daniel. As you've seen teams bring a lot of pressure, how much has that communication for you really elevated?
That's huge, especially on the road in a hostile environment like that. Noise level is up. You all have to be on the same page, because if not, it can be disastrous. So that's something that we've been really honing in on these past few weeks, is making sure every single snap we are all on the same page.
Have you been more vocal? Have you had more opportunities, do you feel like, to do that?
Well, definitely as far as with the calls, getting and confirming the calls. I know that Bort and as well as Daniel, they have the authority to, if Bort calls something, or, hey, maybe Daniel wants to change it. But just from a running back room standpoint, making sure we're all on the same page, we've been on one accord.
JT, how big of a holiday is this for you with Thanksgiving, growing up, the food, all that good stuff? The family, take us through that, please.
Man, Thanksgiving is what we're not playing on Thanksgiving, so I don't know if I'll have a chance to play on Thanksgiving. Everyone hopes they get a chance to play on Thanksgiving at least once, but growing up, smelling the good food, watching the ball games, I mean, it's a special time. You're with your family, you're with your friends, so it's going to be really, really nice this year. I know that the guys who are playing on Thanksgiving, I know it's really big for them, so maybe one day I'll be playing on Thanksgiving.
This is the point in the season, schedule-wise, where the AFC South race really heats up. You guys have 4 games in the division over the last 6 weeks. This team hasn't won an AFC South title in a decade. What would that mean to this locker room that you've been around for a good chunk of that time?
Like you mentioned, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had one here, and we think that it's that time. But we ultimately know in order for that to happen, we got to go out there. You got to put a great product on the field on Sundays, and you have to find a way to win. Good, bad, or ugly, you have to find a way to come out on top each and every single AFC South battle.
Colts and Texans kickoff Sunday at 1 o'clock at Lucas Oil Stadium. Of course, stay dialed in with us over the air on Channel 13 and right here on WTHR+. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Eli Gain. We'll see you next time.